the second Demigods stream for Roll for Change. Uh, I am Nick, and before we do get into things, I do want to let you know that you can donate to the charity whom we are raising money for today by going to rollforchange.org/donate. We are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and any money that you could possibly part with would be greatly appreciated to help for this cause. With that said, we're going to jump right into who we are, what we're playing. I guess I'll go first because I'm already the one talking. So, I am Nick. I am the tech coordinator here for Roll for Change, and I'm playing Valdis Hagen, the Muse. The gifts that I chose were Aura of Inspiration, Celebrity, and Epic Armor. And I will pass it over to Bailey.
Hi, my name is Bailey. I will be playing Bernike Ref or Bernie, and I will be using the Reaper playbook. And my gifts are the Book of the Dead, which is actually an iPad, an epic weapon, and my noble steed, the hippo.
I guess the Path of the Dead doesn't sound as catchy.
No, I suppose it doesn't. The bookmarks of the dead.
Yeah.
The Amazon, the Kindle of the,
The
Dead.
Kindle of the Dead.
Scott, I guess that would make you next.
Kindled spirits.
Ooh.
But
Ooh.
Kindle Eternal Fire.
Alright. My name is Scott. I am playing Valyar Eklund. Everybody just calls me Eklund. I am playing out of the Trickster playbook, and my gifts are an animal form, which is a jaybird. I also have magical resistance, and I am a mimic.
Okay. Also, on our playbooks, we have tangles, which illustrate a little bit about how these characters know each other. The extra person in your mix is this person called Dylan. They're the spindle of this group, uses they, them pronouns, and is going to not necessarily be a primary player in, or actor in this scenario, but should be able to provide some background and interesting color. So Dylan is a director, actor. What was
Producer,
Dylan's?
I believe.
A producer. That's right. And had been working on a play which I believe Val ruined. And
yes.
The how did each of you know Dylan? Let's go over that real quick.
Well, Val knew Dylan in the physical sense, as they were dating. And then not dating anymore after the play incident.
Yeah.
For Eklund, I know Dylan because they are a TA in one of my they are a grad student TA in one of the classes that I've been in. And
Got it.
Through out of that.
Cool.
And Bernie knows Dylan because Bernie works on the show with them as a techie. And
right.
They are also her TA.
Right. Got it. So on each of your playbooks, there's some unique tangles for how you all know each other after you rescued Dylan from certain death, and have spent the last year getting to know each other and being this impressive, potent group of demigods running around New York. What are your tangles? Let's start with Eklund this time.
Okay. Let's see, I've got quite a few here. Bernie caught me in a lie one time and earned my respect. Curse you, Bernie.
Called
You and Dylan pulled a hellish prank that one time. Also, you just can't resist pushing Val's buttons, which is always a good time. Val will make an excellent shield when the trouble finally hits. And it seems like Bernie understands why you do what you do. We'll have to keep an eye on them. That's
I love
all.
that. I love that he sees Val the Muse as a shield between
As
him.
opposed to the Reaper.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
don't mean like a tank.
I mean, I'm
Just
sure
need a
Val could
scapegoat.
talk her way out.
as an absorptive material.
I'm the paper towel between you and danger.
The paper
I
towel
almost
of destiny.
Oh, damn you, Nick.
Extra points for spit takes.
Mm-hmm.
My laptop is right there.
Well, I guess you don't want the points that bad.
Wait, there's points? Oh no.
Bailey, what are your tangles?
So you had a vision of Dylan's death. Describe how, but not where. And I think we said it was just like a generic car accident.
Yep.
You bartered for another Reaper for Eklund's life and won. So I own you.
All right.
You and Val had thrown some epic parties together. Eklund ignored your premonition, has the scars to prove them, and you have feelings for Eklund, but they haven't made your move yet.
Okay.
I just don't know.
You're too busy.
And Val, what do you have?
I have. Eklund knows about that thing you did that one time, which we decided was the play event.
Oh yeah.
Bernie's cynical outlook is exhausting for you. And you wheedled a secret out of Bernie that they would have rather kept to themselves.
Did we decide what that secret was?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think we said it was that she has a crush on Eklund.
Okay.
Oh, so Val knows about that. Okay.
And
I like that.
Dylan keeps you grounded when you are full of yourself,
Yeah, that sounds right.
which is always.
Yeah,
the way-
okay.
Can we call the first episode Brunch and Ball Gowns, please?
I will write that down for future use.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Did anyone want to recap the last episode briefly, or I can do a kind of a short version?
I was going to say I think it was mostly character building and world building and then brunch.
Yep. That is most of it.
I have some notes that I could go over, I suppose.
If you'd like.
Sure. So these are Val's notes. Eklund is stupid! Exclamation point.
Just a lot of ew.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Eklund used my image in order to get a free brunch.
No, just a table. It wasn't.
Oh,
I'm sure we still paid for it.
Yeah.
So-
So somebody had to pay. Yeah.
to get a table, so not even a free brunch.
Yeah.
Very irresponsible. We all met up for this brunch, and while we were having a discussion about responsibility, a demigod showed up with fantastic Ethernet hair, and it turns out that they are the child of the internet. We need to protect Simon, la 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 la.
Yeah. Two
Simon?
M's if that helps.
That's what I wrote down, too.
Yeah.
I can't speak. Simon Lassiter, who will be a side stage avant-garde fashion designer. And they need to be protected from the Boston Celtics, because the Celtic Pantheon has been coming after the fashion designer.
I appreciate that you said it both the wrong way and the right way.
I said it the correct way for the basketball team, and then the correct way for every other human being.
The basketball team is wrong.
Correct.
Just saying.
We all took a boon, a gift from the god for this. Val took money. Eklund took internet notoriety for her father's band, Dark Elves.
That was
Bernie?
Bernie's.
Or Bernie.
He did that. Yeah.
And Eklund took the coin, is what I have right now.
Eklund also took money, just special money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's special money. It's God money.
Eklund took
Yeah.
god money.
Yeah. The orichalcum coin is sort of the it's more that it's made out of orichalcum, less that it's in the shape of a coin, just that it's a tenth of an epic item, which is substantial.
So we
Yes.
need 9 more.
Yep.
And Internet God, whom I didn't get a name from when I re-listened, so I don't think we ever asked.
The god itself is just called Media.
Okay.
The person who sat with you was named Arvin.
Arvin,
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah, Arvin.
So we got Arvin's phone number. I believe all of us got some form of a popularity increase on social media.
Yep.
And
Got a bit of a boost.
we also got unlimited bandwidth,
Yeah.
which
Made
is
Bernie very happy.
very good. And I believe that's where we left it.
Sounds about right to me.
Mhm.
So, what you all agreed to do nominally was to protect Simon Lassiter and his project of, whatever project it is he's working on, because the internet is going to make sure that he gets kind of the notoriety and attention to win the competition, but they're
wants to bone.
right. And apparently there are other entities that are interested in Simon, or maybe just to tick off the media / internet is an avatar of media, and the idea that he could be in danger seems like a real possibility. So they have decided to hire the one group of demigods who can actually work together for any period of time and try to protect him as a supernatural bodyguard squad.
Mhm.
Would you say we're supernatural friends?
Yeah, something like that. Form of death and destruction.
Yes, thank you. I needed that in my life.
That might just be Bernie there.
Well, yeah.
Rude.
You have a literal form of death.
Don't talk about my
And
dad that way.
the hippo might be a literal form of destruction.
Uh-huh.
As long as she's well fed, everything's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
that was the other thing. I'm sorry. You mentioned that now that our spindle can kind of see us in our true forms, and Val talked
Mhm.
about having her like half dead form, and I
Mhm.
started thinking about that. So, if you ask me, I can tell you what Bernie's looks like now.
Yeah, what does Bernie look like, please?
So she's tan because she's Egyptian, but her hair is stark white, and if she actually takes off the scarf that she wears, she has little jackal ears that pop up
Oh,
and
cute.
fangs.
Okay. And is Eklund mostly a regular-looking guy, or does he have any supernatural cosmetics?
I think the only change that Dylan would have seen after, like, kind of he was able to pierce the godly veil and see us as we really are would be in Eklund's eyes, which are blue for everybody else, but they would just be a sparkling purple for her once she could see them.
Okay.
Dylan is a they.
Yeah, Dylan
Sorry.
uses they.
They.
Um,
Thank you.
so, all right, that's cool. And it's also, for other supernatural beings who kind of see you as you are. But yeah, you've left brunch. It is, I think we had said it was Saturday morning. And you've been given a task. You also have Simmons' contact information. Theoretically, he knows you're going to get in touch. But I also know some of you had interrupted plans and process of the day. What is happening?
Oh, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think we should go see this Simmons guy.
I would tend to agree. I've already texted my assistants to make sure that my show goes off without a hitch. They should be able to take care of that. And if not, I will be using #blessed to make sure that they are able to take care of that. So we should get there as soon as possible, yes.
Are you walking in this fashion show, or did you just like get a bunch of outfits together?
The show, so my show is one that I produced, whatever
Okay.
it is. Like, I was the Tyra of this show, and
Okay.
Okay.
I
you're
would
not-
probably walk it, but as like the main, like the end.
As the look what I did.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kind of thing.
Cool.
I have to go back to my apartment and pick up Charlie, my guitar, before we do anything.
Ah,
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds important.
I mean, that is my weapon.
Would Val know where your apartment is?
Probably we throw parties together.
Oh, I always imagine the parties were in like ballrooms or warehouses or not in apartments.
Yeah.
But-
Rooftop penthouses.
Yeah, definitely. New
I was
York
gonna
rooftop.
Say, my dad's a rock star, so yes,
Yeah.
technically.
Okay.
I have my own apartment. I don't live at the dorms.
So
Good.
I'll have my assistant drop off a pass for you so you're able to get in without a problem.
Groovy Tuesdays. You don't want to ride with me on Ippy?
You keep asking and I keep saying no.
I'm telling you, one day you're gonna love it. It's a great ride.
You can keep saying that.
Hmm.
Okay. So so Val is going straight to. So Simon has been given like a temporary workspace at the Fashion Week Pavilion. Has like kind of a backstage area to finish the projects that he's working on. Whatever these sort of avant-garde clothing styles are.
Mhm.
And so that's where he's out of his regular workspace and is in there working. So most of the time he is there. It is Saturday morning and Fashion Week is starts Monday. So he's, pretty much working around the clock currently to finish everything.
Gotta stay relevant.
Mm.
Also, if we're trying to fit in, do we have to like get snooty outfits, or can I just wear my hoodie? She's asking this to Val.
As long as you're not trying to say that you're a model, you could probably go ahead with that hoodie. Just something like tech or
The thing.
assistant would work for you, I think.
Anybody but yours.
Mm.
I've seen what you do. Oh, what is that model's name? The one that threw the phone. Naomi.
Mm.
She just gives you the
Val
look.
seems like someone who would throw someone else's phone, definitely.
Oh no, this woman threw her own phone at her assistant.
Oh.
Charming.
Don't know if Val's that
I was gonna
abusive.
say Naomi Campbell is a piece of work. So
Okay, noted.
So, yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think you would have a problem, as in people would think you out of place, so long as you don't say you're a model.
yeah, no, I'm too short to be a model.
You said it, not me.
You didn't have to say it this time.
Learning. I'm glad.
All
Well,
right.
somebody in this group has to.
So, we have Bernie is scooting off to pick up a guitar from home. Are Val and Eklund just heading to the pavilion?
Oh, that's my plan.
Mhm.
I don't need to prepare. I'll just change on the way.
And I would be going with Eklund despite my better judgment.
Just the whole time, no ball gowns.
Okay. So you get to the pavilion. I imagine Bernie's going to get there a little bit later. Depending on how you're getting around, you keep noting and checking, like, oh wow, yeah, that those follow counts that you were getting are bumping up, and just kind of riding that like if you get a big bump of followers, then you get more followers, and it's sort of on that wave. And other than that, the midday is pretty uneventful, and I imagine by noon or so we're all at the pavilion. Is that Sounds okay?
Yeah.
Fine by me.
Now, do Val and Eklund, is it important to you to have a scene with Simon before Bernie gets there?
Nah, I can wait.
Okay.
I think it'd be more fun to have it with everyone there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine. I just thought if there was something you wanted, like specifically to, needle Bernie about something.
I can take it.
Bernie, it's fine.
I think even in character, Val would think that this was given to all three of them, and all three of them should be there for it.
Okay, cool. So when you get there, there's just there's like a series of. It's kind of like being at a like a game con or Comic Con or something where there's all these big booth things that are workspaces. So there's a long hallway and then cutouts all along left and right of kind of like curtained off booths, but they're big, like 600-700 square foot booth, where you're in there and you've got your racks of clothes and all kinds of stuff set up. And the avant-garde wing is particularly big. The booths are a little bit bigger than normal. There's often a lot of big pieces in there, or power tools and whatever else is happening. So when you all arrive at Simmons' workspace, the curtains are like there's like a patch of duct tape over the opening of the curtain, and on the duct tape it says "Do not enter without goggles." And there's a little like shoebox size cardboard box on the floor with like welding goggle kind of things.
Okay.
Bernie doesn't need one because she has her own.
You have your own welding goggles?
Small goths always have welding goggles.
Okay, fair enough.
I will grab a pair.
Okay.
Val's looking at the box and looking into the room, looking around, looking at the box, and just rolls her eyes and picks up a pair.
These are not fashionable at all.
Gonna say I've got some glitter if you want to make them pretty.
I don't have the time to fix this.
It's part of the job. It's okay. Besides, who's going to be taking pictures in there?
Bernie slowly lowers the iPad.
Eklund pulls out.
Selfie stick of doom.
Let's get this over with.
Okay, so you part the curtains, head in there. You realize there's actually like a double layer of curtains. You're like, oh my god, this guy. But when you get in there, you are faced with, at first, what looks like this constructed freestanding hologram of
Tupac?
No, it looks like sort of like how the cloak on the Headless Horseman from the movie, there's like a cloak standing there, and there's just there isn't like a pumpkin head or anything. It's just there's this like cape cloak kind of thing, and then a couple other pieces of outfit, and the as soon as you go in, you just hear from kind of off to one side, like, "Oh, eye protection, eye protection." Okay, oh, good, you're all right, fine. Really, all you can see is this arrangement, and you realize that it's all this like, it's just made out of light, whatever this is, which is.
How are you gonna model that?
Right. And when Simon says, "Oh, okay, hold on, I'll turn the lights on. I assume you're the security team I was expecting." And he's like fumbling around a little bit, and then you can tell the lights come on, and he is taking off his goggles. And when you take your goggles off, you realize he has a number of like harness rigs with all these like extensive like piping and construction material, and they're sort of like reflective surfaces to be able to create these elaborate reflected light, like a walking laser show, basically. He looks very proud of himself, a little smug, perhaps. And
ruined it by saying he looked smug.
Smug might not be the right word,
I was
but
gonna say, because the techie in me was like, I need this.
so yeah, he says, I kept telling my agent I didn't need a security team. I mean, that's not your fault. I get it. I appreciate that you're here. And then he kind of takes a step back and says to Val, like, wow, your aura is really just like split down the middle. I've never seen an aura like that before.
It's part of modeling is making sure to have the proper balance. So I always try to make sure that that's what I'm putting out there into the world.
That is fascinating.
Your
Well,
question. The work here. Assuming I were a fashion designer who liked avant-garde, which Val is not, is it good?
let's see. I think Val would be able to have like an objective, like, I don't like this, but I can tell if it's good or bad. It's very good in the context of this game, and Jason doesn't actually know what is good avant-garde fashion. So in the context of this, whatever it means to be avant-garde, there is certainly the talent and skill that's gone into this to make something impressive and pushing boundaries.
Perfect. Second question. Is he attractive?
Yeah, in a sort of like Cumberbatch sort of way.
So, like, awkward turtle.
Yeah. Yeah, he's tall. He's like 6'4" and
Super
thin.
lanky.
Lanky. And what was that?
I just said awkward. That's all I can. Like, I like Benjamin. I like Benedict Cumberbatch, but just everything about him is awkward.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I use that example. Is if he could like be a little bit more self-confident and dress himself in something other than whatever this work outfit is. He's like in a t-shirt and jeans that look like he should have gone to the Big and Tall store, but didn't really. They come up like this far from his ankle. Like if he actually made an effort, he'd be a pretty good-looking guy.
So he's a fashion designer that doesn't know how to dress himself.
He is an avant-garde designer.
Correct.
And he's working. So
Yes.
Val would like to kind of gently put her index finger on his chest, but slow enough that he has a chance to reject if he wants to.
And he just watches it.
Okay.
Like he's a little confused, but he's like.
And she kind of like, in a, not like a pure like I'm seducing you kind of way, but in a little bit more of a flirty type of voice that Nick cannot do. Is just saying, let me tell you, your aura it's very orange. Do you know what orange means?
Let's find out. I'm gonna Google aura.
I am making this up as I go. But just the
Oh yeah, that's great. Orange red is confidence, creative power.
yes, that's what I was going for. Perfect. I actually remembered this stuff from when I was younger.
Pure orange relates to reproductive organs.
Oh,
Well, that's not where Val was going yet, but
Yet.
Okay. All right. I have. This is great.
does Simon know that orange is creativity?
Yeah, I think he does. He apparently puts a lot of stock into this. He says, "Well, I have always had trouble seeing my own aura, but like And as soon as you say that, he is immediately like ingratiated. You know, like this is like, oh, thank God, somebody who gets it. Because of course he gets shit all the time for thinking about like auras and
Yep.
crystals, and you know, because a lot of people don't believe in those things, but he does, and it may not be a bad guess. Like he might have a little bit of a sixth sense, the way that he read into your
Yes.
aura.
He was correct, so
yeah.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Also, while my finger's on his chest, I would like to read the weave on him.
Yeah, let's do that.
Ooh.
I would say it's the poke of destiny.
Solid 8 non-doubles.
Okay, so an 8 is gonna let you ask 2 questions from a list. They don't have to be from the same list either.
Okay. I'm
But
looking at
not
the
an
read a
artifact.
person list, and how can I get this person to understand the threat without breaking them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's clear that you have an opening to explain that the threat is like kind of supernatural, you know, like to the degree of like how your aura and your vibe would be in danger. He's not going to believe like, oh, goatmen are going to bust down the door, probably. But yeah,
Some harsh vibes.
yeah, you can pick up on like how delicate his meridians are in balance right now, and that we'll want to be aware of the ley lines as we travel back and forth, and all these things, which I don't know, based on some of your traditions, like some of that stuff may actually add up, but he doesn't know that.
Okay.
But it is like, that's how you could get him to understand that this is serious, without him like freaking the fuck out. Oops, sorry.
Nope.
Swear we get 1 per stream.
Okay, that's mine.
So the second question is, how can I get this person to dress attractively? Because this is a disaster.
I think if you could convince him that it would alter his like state of mind, and that would alter his aura and his energy.
Fashion feng shui.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is he would buy an argument along those lines.
Okay, so with this information that she's obtaining, she kind of retracts the finger and motions to Eklund, because Val knows that there are many things that she is good at, but lying is not one of them.
You need me for something. Oh.
And just kind of goes, well, I think Eklund here can kind of explain. It's funny that, you know, all 3 of us definitely are very well versed in auras, and Eklund can explain here how your aura is in danger and why we're here. And she just passes it on to Eklund. And there's a look in her eyes as she's looking at you that's like, this is for this morning.
Oh, there's a look in my eyes that says, we're not done yet.
That's great.
All right, Simon. We want to protect you, not just your fashion, your vision, but you as a person, as a being of energy. And there are people out there who want to take that energy of yours and just snuff it out. What would really help, though, maybe a new outfit. Now, Val here knows a thing or two about clothes. But really, honestly, if you want to look your best, go bare-chested.
Interesting. Okay.
Energy
So
comes from your heart. You have to let it shine through.
I see. So it might. I don't want it to be tangled up in my outfit situation.
Exactly. You'll be stronger. You'll be better able to fend off these attacks. People will be dazzled by you.
Out of character, what are we, indoors or outdoors?
You're in his kind of private workspace. So it's just the four of you standing here.
But when they go to like do the show, is the show outside or is it indoors?
His show is going to be in an indoor side stage because it
Okay.
has to be pitch black in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just wondering, because if it was cold outside, Bernie was going to put her foot down.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, it is cold. It's December in
I
New
don't
York.
want him to catch his death.
Right.
And that's my pun. Made my morbid remark.
Okay.
And whatever's coming after him is going to use more than temperature to take him out.
I'm not worried about what's coming after him. I'm just worried about it's December in New York. It's cold.
We
Put
only
your
have to
sweater
get
on.
him through today.
All right, so maybe I can get a jacket when we go outside, but yeah, okay. And he just like strips his shirt off, like, okay, yeah,
That-
I feel better already. Like this makes a lot of sense.
You look better already too.
Oh, thank you. I just feel confident and yeah.
Breathe in the air, exhale the lack of creativity. Breathe in the air and exhale the lack of creativity.
Yeah. So he is, tossing his shirt in the corner and picking up some of his like soldering tools, and he's like, "I think I'm just gonna get back to work with this. Some of the wiring isn't finished."
Chest protection, please.
Val is an actual idiot and does not understand what's about to happen, so she has no problem with this.
Bernie is a techie, and she knows that that's not how you do that. I'm just going to like put my hand on his shoulder and be like, no. I don't care what they say about your creativity. If you burn your nip-nops off with that soldering iron, it's going to be a bad day. Make sure you put on an apron.
That is an important idea. Yeah, and he has a bunch of aprons off to the side
just
there, and
the biggest leathery thing in gloves. Now you're good.
It's a heavy canvas, but it solder isn't actually that hot. It just sucks if it's on your skin.
Look, I've burnt myself cooking.
Scars are hot.
All right, so he's getting to work over there. Just so I have it, let's have Eklund roll sway someone.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. You're
gonna get a +1 because you're acting on a read the weave roll, so you're benefiting from Val's read the weave.
Oh, I've already got a +1 to my OS. That'll be a +2, whatever this is.
Yep.
Hey, that's a pair of 4s.
Ooh.
So that comes out to a 10.
Okay, so you take a thread for doubles, and a 10+ on a sway someone is a grand slam. So I think what we described is he's very agreeable to what's happening here. I would like, let's do this. Let's all roll judgment. Roll plus judgment, and whoever gets the highest, I'm gonna give some information to.
Not me.
I have a -1 to that.
I have a +2.
So, what are the totals?
9.
5.
4 and 5. Okay.
We
so
combined
those
to
two
equal them.
added together equal what Bernie has. So
Better
Bernie,
judge of character.
what's that?
I said I'm just a better judge of character.
Yes, that's true. Although in this case, it's more of a surroundings, something you're picking up on, and the it is something very subtle that you might not have picked up on, but the big black curtain on the side of the workshop that's like facing the hallway, if that makes sense. Like you would pull these apart and go out into the hallway. It's not like the neighbor curtains. So you're looking at this curtain, and it's a sort of like black thread on black fabric effect, which is why it's hard to tell what is happening exactly. But you're not 100% sure because they're not Egyptian symbols, but you can see the threads in the fabric are like scrunching and moving and twisting a little bit, and starting to form some kind of symbol. Yeah, so, some kind of glyph. And it's first of all, it's hard to even like see the effect, but you could tell right away that it's not an Egyptian spell or whatever this effect is. But what do you do?
Can I use my iPad of the dead to take a picture and try to identify what they are?
Yeah, sure. Let's roll. That sounds like metal.
I'm judging what they are.
Well, you picked up on it with judgment. I think it's either it's metal or weird, and I'll let you pick.
I could do weird because I have a +1 in that. The other one's a -1. All right.
Okay.
So that is 7 total.
Okay. So with the 7, you're pretty sure. Well, you know for a fact it's not Egyptian, but it seems like it's either. It looks kind of like Norse runes, but that doesn't seem right because you've seen at least a few of those. So.
But it looks enough that if I called one of them over, they might figure out what it is.
Well, there's certainly a recognizable pattern. Like if you point it out to someone, they'll be able to see it. It's just, black thread on black fabric, looking very strange.
Now I have to try to decide which one of them would actually be helpful in this task.
And for what it's worth, Simon has his earbuds in. He has the little the wireless ear pods, and is kind of rocking out to that. You can actually hear the music a little bit.
Is it good music?
What is he listening to? Probably, I think he's a classical guy. I think he's just listening to classical.
Bernie can get down on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what else. But anyway, yeah, he's sitting there shirtless with his apron on and his 2 short jeans. So he's kind of sitting on a stool at his workbench, soldering wires. So his back is like he's facing the back of the workspace. So the thing is happening directly behind him. So
she's going to turn around and do that like dog whistle thing and look at Val and Eklund and like snap her fingers and like, one of you blonde idiots, come over here.
Val kind of gives Eklund a look of like, you go see what she wants. I'm gonna stay close. Like,
Yeah.
Neither one of you fight. That's the problem.
What is it?
Look at the. And she kind of gestures at the curtains. Do you see the patterns in the string?
Mm-hmm.
Does this look for? It's nothing for a mine, but I kind of see like a little bit of. And she kind of does that thing. She's like, I kind of see a little bit of like your inspiration in there. Does that look familiar to you? Any of that?
I didn't do it. If that's what you're asking.
Not asking if you did it, but does it look familiar?
And without rolling Eklund, I can tell you it's definitely not Norse. You know what that looks like. You've had to deal with it. So.
You said they're moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. There's still like one will form and then kind of shift over, and at this point, it sort of looks like embroidery, like if you were embroidering black thread onto black fabric. So.
I wouldn't touch it.
Oh,
okay.
I was gonna cut a hole in it.
What? Don't go breaking stuff.
Well, if it's gonna explode, I don't want it exploding.
Yeah, exploding fabric. That'll be the day.
No, but I know you, and I know exploding runes exist.
Okay.
Touch.
I want to touch it. That I was not expecting that.
I want to punch the runes.
Lick it. I roll for lick.
They're moving on their own. I want to see, touch it. Maybe I can feel somebody behind it or something. Maybe it's hot. Maybe it's cold. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think it has a vague warmth to it as you're sort of like exploring the fabric. And as you go to pull away from it, you realize that the embroidery has painlessly threaded through the pad of your finger.
Nope.
So it's threaded through your finger, like in the flesh, without causing any pain. And you are, let's air quotes around, attached to the curtain.
I want to try to pull it off if I can. Like maybe break the thread.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have you roll metal. Like normally I would not have you roll dice to break thread, but this is
Kind of magic.
this is an unusual situation. And also, before you roll, is it scary for Eklund that he is attached to this thing, or is he just like, oh man, this is dumb?
I think if there was pain, Eklund would be afraid.
Okay,
But
it's
there's
more
no
just
pain.
surreal.
So this is just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it starts hurting, that might change.
Okay.
Let's roll some metal and find out. It's 8 plus 1 is 9.
Okay. As you kind of pull away, so you actually get to make a choice. You can pull your hand off of this thing, but you'll have to take 1 harm to do it. So that's it's up to you. You can do it, or you can leave your hand there.
Are there scissors nearby? Can I just cut him out?
I'm just going to turn to Bernie and say, I'm stuck.
The thing is, he is like, there's no room between his finger and the, it's
I thought he was like pulling it out and seeing it.
No, it's like he's like, flat against the fabric with the pad of his finger.
Pull it away. Bernie, I'm stuck. I messed up.
Told you not to touch things. I don't want to like just pull out a sword.
May I ask
also,
sorry. May I ask a question?
Yeah.
If he had rolled a 10 on that, would he have been able to get away without taking a harm?
Uh-huh.
May I provide aid?
You're pretty far away from what's happening. I think you were specifically
Oh, yes, sorry.
wanting
Apologies.
to be on the other side of the workspace.
Well, Val is continuing to look at the shirtless man.
But
how big is this area where the runes are? Like, is it, like,
so
little,
there's
is it...
one that's like stopped moving around. That's like the size of I don't know how big around that is. Like 4 inches.
Tuna can.
Diameter. And now it's sort of working on the second one, and the second one is what has his finger. And also, as you're both kind of looking at this, like, wait, why are you stuck to that? You realize that you're actually you're bleeding into the curtain. You can't see it because it's black fabric, but your blood is soaking into the curtain.
Are there scissors nearby?
Over on the work table.
I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors and try to cut around the thing without necessarily like cutting into it or touching it.
If you want to cut out the part that his finger is stuck to, you're going to have to cut through the moving embroidery.
Okay.
You can if you want to try that, but
Yeah,
Eklund has a face. He's making
try.
a face.
I've got an idea, but you seem to be doing something a bit more practical.
Lord forbid.
I mean, it does take a second to dash over, grab the scissors, hesitate, shit.
I mean, I might not even grab scissors. I mean, can I just say that I have a switchblade?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
That sounds like something Bernie would have. Okay, so your knife is out.
Yep.
Is Eklund okay with her knifing the fabric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Bernie.
Don't move. And I'm just gonna try to, as carefully as possible, just arch around the symbols to try to get his finger out without cutting him.
Okay. You stab the blade in, and this time you actually see tendrils of fabric lash out to almost like a Venus flytrap, trying to grab the knife out of your hands.
Rude.
So you're gonna roll metal to not get your hand caught in there.
Pray for me, y'all. I got a -1 in that.
Hooray!
So I got double 3s. So I got a 6. -1 is a 5.
That's a good old 5. Okay. I like that.
I got my doubles, so.
Okay. So good news and bad news. Eklund, you've been cut free.
Cool.
you were, just that tiny pad of your finger, it was attached, and when she stabbed in there, it like the embroidery actually like tried to get out of the way a little bit and let go of your finger in the process, but then it lashed out and grabbed onto like all the outside of your knife hand.
That's my knife in hand.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Bernie's ambidextrous. Let's just go with left.
One of those shifty folks. Okay, so your left hand is painlessly engulfed in black fabric.
Rude.
And you may recall there's a double wall of fabric here. So this is the inner wall, which means even if it feels like your hand is all the way through the fabric, but no one will be able to see it in the hallway because there's the outer wall of fabric there.
Rude.
You look stuck there, Bernie.
Yeah, the wall ate my knife. Go get Val.
Danger.
Hey, Val. Psst, psst, hey, Val.
Yes, this better be good.
So Val, what's happening with Bernie's knife is way more obvious than what was happening.
Yeah.
With because you're only like 15 feet away. Like it's not. It's a 600-700 space, so it's like what 15 by 40. It's like way longer than it's wide. So.
Okay. Couple of questions. The curtain that is closest to Simon, does that have any ruins on it?
No. The back wall of the curtain, which is what's behind his workspace, and actually his workspace is this bench that has like a big plexiglass panel so that he doesn't spray burning metal or anything onto the curtains that could catch on fire, because that's dangerous.
But let's say hypothetically someone wanted to hypothetically shove him through the closest curtain to get him out of this area, hypothetically. Are there runes there?
Okay, so the curtain that in the back of the workspace is just up against concrete wall and is there for politeness.
Okay.
So you don't have to look at concrete. If you're walking in, his workspace is over in like the back left corner, right? So if you want to somehow go through that end of the workspace, if you can slice through that, you don't see any sort of embroidery or anything happening on the fabric. The only fabric so far that looks affected is directly behind, on that left end of the workspace, is directly behind where he's sitting.
Okay. So I have a choice between getting him out of here or helping Bernie.
Well, if he's not in danger just yet.
That's the decision I'm trying to make. Does Val think he's in danger?
Get him out. We can be a little bit more creative with our solutions. I'm sure we've got something to start a fire around here.
You in the fires.
What?
We talked about this once a month.
It's a new month.
Okay. I think Simon has to go. I think Simon needs to take a walk.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of grab him by the shoulder. Is he up, like on a ladder, or is he at ground level?
Sitting on a stool. Yeah, sitting on a stool at his workbench.
I'm going to not take his shoulder then. I am just going to take one of the earbuds out, get real close to his ear, and just say, I'd like to tell you what classical makes me think of. Why don't you come take a walk with me? And I'm using the haughty voice, the very like, hey, let's go take a walk.
Let's roll sway someone with advantage. Like, you're likely to succeed, but it'll be fantastic if you fail. So
I want him to be like the most asexual person. But I have to
But that's Val's only solutions to her problems.
I don't think Simon is ace. He's just also very focused on his work. Like, he's a driven, creative person.
Okay. Okay, so advantage is Fate's
Oh.
Favor, which is 3
Yeah.
dice, drop the lowest.
Yes.
I'm going to do a thing here where I show what I rolled.
Is it all ones?
Let it be sixes.
Where? Hold on.
I don't have the
I
camera up.
don't know if I can-
That's a 1.
That's so far away. I can't.
That's a
That's
one.
a 1.
That's a 1. Yep.
That's a 5. So luckily,
Aw.
5 plus 1 is
6.
6 plus 3 is 9.
Okay.
Ordy.
But those 2 1s really gave me a fright.
They give
Yeah.
you a scare.
Oh, and just to be clear, the ones don't count as doubles because one of them is thrown
Right.
away. So that's come up before in playtests and stuff. People are like, "Oh, but can I still have doubles?" Like, yeah, if you want to keep a pair of ones.
I might in this scenario because it's funny, but no, I will please take the 9.
Okay. So yeah, he is like, oh, yeah. So with a 7 to 9 result on sway someone, usually you need to offer something, and I think he is willing to go with you, but is like will want to think like something's actually going to happen, and that this isn't just like stepping out to take a walk. Like he's hoping there are air quotes around "take a walk."
Oh, there's an implication that something will happen in my voice.
I was
Definitely.
gonna say,
Fun, Val.
tell him that tantric helps, you think?
That's true. Oh yeah, and actually you were all up in his vibes. So
You're gonna give him an aura massage.
Combine those auras.
That's a thing people think about.
So I would like to
is aura massage a real thing?
Yes, it is.
yes, it
Oh, I
is.
didn't know that. Okay. Cool.
I'm not saying it's a real thing, but it's a thing
I-
people will pay for.
Yeah, I mean, but people can have whatever they want. Okay, so yeah, I think so. He is under the impression that something good is going to happen to him, so he turns off his soldering iron, like quickly, kind of puts everything away. He's like, should I grab my shirt?
I'm going to kind of grab him and tumble him through the
Should I
curtain
bring
to the
shirt?
next
Okay.
area, and I am applying the makeout to him while doing this.
I'll have fun, Val.
You're applying makeup.
You're so helpful.
I am
Make
I am
out.
applying my mouth to his.
Oh, right. Got it. Okay. Yeah, cool. So you guys end up in the hallway. A little bit of fresh air out here, at least. You don't smell burning metal and wiring and all that. So, yeah, good breath of fresh air, and then the two of you are making out.
Okay.
Have fun. So with them out of the room, I want to go grab that soldering iron and turn it back on.
Yeah, it's still pretty hot.
I want to go try to burn Bernie free.
Is this a traditional soldering iron or is it like battery powered? Because I think those things have tiny cords.
They do.
Oh,
Oh,
Can
that's
I-
a good point.
oh,
I mean,
If he's
I'm
doing
all
a
down,
dress,
I'm
then
just
he
saying
needs a battery
there's-
powered one.
You know what?
Battery's got extension cords.
Yeah, I think he has a power strip, right?
There
He
you go.
has a surge protector plugged into the wall because the wall only has 2 plugs, and he has like half a dozen things to plug in,
Yeah,
including like
totally.
his phone charger and his speaker and his, you know.
unplug all that stuff. We don't need any of that. No.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think in the time it takes you to like, oh, yeah, turn this thing on and untwisty tie the extension cord and drag it across the room. The curtain is fairly well consuming your hand, and
Just
so I
holding
don't
it
have
or
this.
eating it.
I don't have this thing written down yet, but I'm gonna have you take 1 harm, Bernie,
Ow.
and then you're gonna roll 2 dice, add 1 to it, and on this one you want to roll real low. This is like in masks, it's take a powerful blow.
Gotcha. I need my DM dice because they fail me constantly. And once again, they fail me because I got a 6 and a 5.
Oh my god.
So that's a 12 total.
Oh boy, that's not great.
Ah.
I don't know. Sounds like something fun's gonna happen.
Okay. Um,
Small cloth.
so you had that was your knife, right? You had a little switchblade there.
Pretty rainbow ones.
So it was the fabric was like sort of writhing around your fist, holding the knife. You could still feel the knife in your hand, but then you could see the threads are like digging into your skin, and then suddenly kind of like venom if it's done in fabric, just goes up to your elbow and comes away from the curtain and stabs at Eklund.
What?
Ooh.
Bernie, no.
Bernie, will you roll prowess, please? I'll also take 2 harm. A total of 2. So you.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah. You.
I'm at 3 now.
What did you take 1 before?
Because you told me to take 1 before because it was holding my hand.
Oh yeah. So you took 1 and you rolled for taking harm, and you take 1 more.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah. You've taken total of 2.
I have an owl.
Don't stab me, Bernie. I don't like
Prowess. Don't stab me, Burn. All right, so the good news with this is I rolled 2 6s this time, so it's another set of doubles.
Okay. Take your thread.
And
Unfortunately, that's a real good smite your enemies roll.
sorry, friends.
I'm gonna pick the smite your enemies selection because this is bad for you.
Ooh, yeah, a lot of these are.
Yeah. So we're gonna pick trade harm. So a demigod without an epic weapon. This isn't an epic switchblade, right? It's just like
no, this is not Charlie. This is just my pocket blade.
Yeah. Okay. So a demigod without an epic weapon, punching or stabbing with a mortal weapon is just 2 harm. So Eklund, you're gonna trade harm. It is up to you whether you do damage back to her. But she's coming at you, and then I get to pick 2 more things.
Do I see the giant thread thing up her arm?
Yeah. It's real obvious that she's kind of not doing this of her own accord.
I will not hurt Bernie if I don't have to.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could just take the 2 harm. Do you have epic armor?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So also reminder. You can spend a thread to ignore 2 harm as well. And you can do those, and you could spend like 5 threads and ignore 10 harm if you wanted. Like that's, you can do, that'd be the most, I guess, but it's up to you.
Save it for later. Okay.
So you take the 2 harm, and then I'm also going to pick 2 more things because you rolled so well. What was your total roll?
12. I only have a 0. I have a 0 in prowess.
Oh my gosh, that was really like a 50-50. You could have totally whiffed. Okay, so the fabric is also taking a move. It's using a version of protect yourself and is advancing up to your like bicep. And it Oh, it's going to also choose take something from your enemy. Tendrils of fabric reach out and grab the soldering iron out of your hand. So, like the back of her wrist, fabric tendrils shoot out and grab this thing as you're like, whoa, why are you stabbing me? And yeah, I think it's fair that she caught you off guard. So, yeah, you still, I think you... yeah, it snatches out of your hand. It's not that you can't get it back, but it is so like her left hand is holding a knife, and then the fabric tendrils on the back of her hand are holding the soldering iron. Does that visual make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And your friend Val is making out with the artist out in the hallway.
Yep.
I've pushed him to the back of the hallway as well. As far away as possible.
So, Bernie, you got a little something on your arm there. Oh.
Brilliant! You're so observant.
I know. Now, my only solution I thought was going to be to burn it off, but I really don't want to hurt you. Any bright ideas?
I'm really tempted because I really want to use my moves, but I don't know if that'll work in this situation.
What do you want to do?
I want to use best of 7 to make a challenge out of getting out of the curtain so that I will, essentially. But I'm not sure if that is how that applies.
I think this thing is not like a thinking entity that can agree to your challenge.
But if I make the challenge to Eklund that I can get out, can I still use it that way, or do I have to be using it to my enemy?
No. You can challenge anyone. What is it you want to challenge Eklund to?
It can't be chance, so I can't.
Yeah, it has to be a game of skill.
Okay, so I'm gonna challenge him to a riff off, and I'm gonna tell him to use my guitar real quick.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna play your guitar.
You're gonna play my guitar badly, and then I'm gonna use one hand to play the guitar beat.
Hey, this thing's a weapon, right? I mean, I could just take your arm off for you.
No. Because you don't know how to turn Charlie on. So.
Oh, well.
Fair.
I mean, if you just take your time and ask good questions and...
and speaking of turning things on, Val is still kissing.
That's good.
I could do that, or I could... It has to be like a skill. What's a skill? I can't think of anything like off the top of my head that I could
Chess? A nice game of chess?
Do we have to do it right now?
Well,
or is it something we have to do later?
It can be either. Like, you could challenge somebody to, I'm going to raise more money in this charity drive than you, and have it take a month and see what happens. It's just the move says you challenge someone, they have to agree. But if you agree, you're able to create this like spiritual oath that both of you have to abide by.
Okay, then I'm gonna say, hey Eklund, I bet I can do more shots than you at the end of this thing. Deal?
Deal. Yeah, we can do drinks.
I was gonna say, loser has to try and steal 3 of Val's lipsticks.
I mean, I was gonna do that anyway, but sure.
3 more.
3 more. And take a picture with them. So I'm gonna give him my free hand so he can shake.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Now what?
I don't know. I don't know where this is going.
Oh, I thought
we're gonna have a drinking contest.
I think you would have to implement the lack of having the arm friend into the actual bet.
In order for us to actually be able to drink, we have to survive this, so you have to get me out of there. So help get me out. I wasn't sure how to use this.
Okay.
I thought it was kind of like haha, I win.
Oh no, it's meant to be like a genuine sit down and 1v1 me kind of thing. What other Reaper moves did you take?
Flash of light and in the balance. So I can heal him later. But...
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think the fabric has a life.
Probably not.
Stop them with.
But and what? Let's see. You have Book of the Dead.
I do still have the weapon, and I could just have him bring the weapon and just with my other hand slash it.
Yeah, I mean, you could just you could draw your epic weapon. Now, you are trying to be extra. You can very easily chop your own arm off. That's not a difficult thing.
Will it grow back though?
Oh no.
No.
You might be able to meet like an artisan type who could build you a fully working prosthetic.
But
later,
here's an alternative. So chopping your arm off, no roll is required. You can chop it off and be 100% free of this thing, and probably take like 3 harm in the process because it's damaging, but you're a demigod, right? And you did it to yourself. On the other hand, if you'd like to roll weird. We could call this bend fate, and you're using your epic weapon, your epic tool. You're kind of pushing it beyond its normal limits, and what you want to do is slice this without slicing yourself.
Okay.
Right? That's
So
sort
at
of.
this point, there's no way for me to like slice the fabric around.
Oh no, it's leapt off of the part
Okay.
that's attached to you is not attached to the curtain anymore.
Okay, so
You
I've
have
just,
a long sleeve or like gloves, you know.
okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll just keep the no. I already have one
Yeah.
character with only one arm. I'm not about to do this again.
Yeah, if you could like peel it open like a cast, that'd be.
Kopesh does have a hook in it.
Uh-huh. It's just tricky to do that without slicing your arm open.
Yeah.
So we would do bend fate instead of like a prowess move.
All right, I'll do that. So she's gonna reach behind her, and she's going to pluck a series of chords, and then when she rolls the guitar forward, it turns into an Egyptian kopesh, which is like this kind of like hooky looking sword. It's really cool. And then she's just gonna try to like slow and steady skin this thing.
Okay. Cool. So
Ugh.
let's roll plus weird.
I have a +1 in weird. We're good.
Just an arm.
Okay.
So that is a 9 total.
Okay, so with a 9, you get to pick one boon, which is, push a gift beyond its normal use. So that's good, but you also have to pick a bane.
Oh yay!
I think there's one on here that makes sense. Do you have it in front of you?
I have one of your gifts goes dead for a little while, so that makes me sad because I won't be able to use Charlie later.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see
you get to
what's
pick
going.
which gift. You could also take one harm, because as you're sort of carefully slicing this, it wasn't perfectly careful. You could become stunned, or you could take Fate's Disfavor on your next roll, whatever that happens to be for.
I've already had really bad rolls lately. I think I'll take the 1 harm
Okay, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
because
In the
I can heal
Yeah.
myself. So
Okay, cool. So you're up to 3 now, I think.
yep, I'm at 3 harm.
And Eklund, you're at 2.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So you peel this sleeve off, and the fabric that was on your arm just falls to the floor and is an inert piece of fabric on the floor.
Stupid curtain.
Oh, and also there's no hole in the curtain.
Okay.
That's convenient.
Are there any runes on the curtain? I know Val's not there, but Nick wants to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There are quite a few more symbols than were there before.
All right. So I guess we've learned don't touch it.
Yep. Give me the soldering iron. I'm just gonna throw it at the fabric.
Well, let's see if Eklund, do you have a thing you want to do?
At this point, I think I could just light this curtain on fire, and those runes will just go away, right?
Bernie hands you a flask. Here you go.
I want to use. Oh, you mean this gate key right here, and pull out a small lighter and start holding it up to the curtain. Get this thing going.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you even need a
I was
move.
gonna say you don't have to do that. We just
Yeah.
have Bernie smokes.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
sure you have a lighter on you. So, but only because the gate key move it also includes that it's not exactly perfect.
Right,
The
that's
thing that
true.
you come up with, so a slightly faulty light could be real problematic. But yeah, I think it's totally reasonable to think that you have a lighter, and you want to hold the lighter up to the fabric. Is that what you were going to do? Because you also have control of the soldering iron again.
Yeah, it took that though. And if it's on
Well,
fire,
it grabbed the handle. It grabbed the part you were holding.
right. I'm just thinking I don't want to arm it again.
Mm.
If I light it on fire,
It was armed.
Ha ha. Y'all are trash.
Mostly me, but yes.
Why don't you just use the fabric that's on the floor and Molotov cocktail it?
Okay. That's pretty good thinking. Thank you, Bernie. Let's light something else on fire first and then throw it at the curtain. Very
Okay.
good.
Let's roll metal.
You mean you don't have a move specifically for lighting things on fire yet, Jason?
No,
No.
What do you mean the trickster doesn't have an arson move?
I have a larceny move, but not an arsony move.
Arsony? It's kind of arsony.
Close.
Okay. Metal. Let's see, that's a 2 and a 5 plus 1 is 8.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes a second for you to get it going. But otherwise, you're able to, use the hot soldering iron. This other piece of fabric catches fire, and you toss it over there. It hits the curtain and falls to the ground at the base of the curtain. The curtain is not made out of flash paper, so it doesn't just immediately burst into flame. But it starts to smolder at the bottom. And then a person with like a one-ear headset comes in, just kind of pushes through the curtain to say, Mr. Lassiter, we have a, what the, and then their hand touches the part of the curtain that has runes on it. And it just goes, and they're completely covered in a black linen bodysuit, face as well. And their foot is on fire.
Hey, that's something.
Yes, it is. Is my knife back?
Oh yeah, you were holding it the whole time.
Okay, I'm just gonna hand him the knife. Cause you don't have a weapon, do you?
Oh, me, the knife.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the mortal. You were handing the mortal a weapon.
No.
Just here, use it on us, please.
I was gonna say.
Here you go. Make it quick and clean. Come on.
Ain't got all day.
Yeah, sure. I was not far from suggesting maybe we don't need a witness, but sure, we can cut him free.
I would prefer.
All right, I have a switchblade.
I just don't want you hurting yourself.
Okay.
Remember, the pointy end goes in them.
I thought we didn't want to hurt him either.
Can I ask you a question, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Did this mortal have the fear of death when this happened?
Have what?
Fear of death. Were they very afraid at that time?
Oh yeah, in the moment when they got taken over, yeah.
So I would say that probably pinged Val, because that's her
Absolutely.
domain.
Yep.
So she's gonna stop and just like.
And it's like, do you smell smoke? No one. You're not allowed to smoke in here.
And she's going to use, I guess, sway someone to convince him to stay here. She's gonna go check on her idiot friends, and she's gonna kind of put it that way of being like, I need to make sure that the two other bodyguards haven't done something dumb. Why don't you find somewhere nice around here for us to do what needs to be done?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, shouldn't I stay with you, or well, it's okay. Go ahead and roll sway.
Yeah, we'll see.
And, we'll see how he's a little unsure, and he'd rather remain in your presence.
So that is a 12 total.
Oh my. Okay, yeah, he agrees that your course of action is the right way to do things, and is starting to check around the different workspaces to see like which ones aren't being used.
I'm gonna take it a step further with a 12. Actually, does he have a car?
Oh no, he's a
Okay.
New Yorker.
Yeah, fair point. Never mind. All right,
And yeah.
your thing works then. I was gonna have him get his back seat ready, but if not, then we'll do it this way. All right. I'm walking back now to try and figure out what's going on.
Okay, so yeah, you get back and you can see the curtains are moving around crazy. You can start to see some smoke coming up. You don't see any like organizers in the hallway, but that's because the one organizer who was coming down here is busy. So
Symbiote.
So
Yeah.
I did know that curtain was the one that had the runes on it. I did see the runes reach out and grab the knife before I left.
Mm-hmm.
am I smart enough to not grab the curtain to open it?
Possibly.
Is Val smart enough?
I don't
Is it
know. Do you
Tuesday?
want to be smart enough?
That's I'm fine with you saying you're smart enough. If you're not sure for your character, we can roll.
That's I'm gonna say,
It'd be like a judgment roll, probably.
yeah, I'm gonna roll judgment because I'm not.
Okay.
I am legitimately not sure.
Okay, I'm fine with it either way.
She got a 9, so I think she would know not to do the thing.
Okay.
So she's gonna come in from the side, the same way that she left, and just kind of whoop whoop and hook into the back of the room and see what's going on.
Okay, so
Oh, hey,
Val tumbles into view. Your fab friend is kind of stumbling a little stiff, but is starting to get their footing and get into a little bit more aggressive stance. It's a little weird because their like headset is wrapped up as well. Like all
Oh
the
boy.
stuff that person is just exactly as they were before. Probably like a 20-year-old woman, like college gal, coming to the work the scene here as an intern, and is.
She didn't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. She's like 5'6", medium build. Doesn't have any obvious weapons yet.
Okay, let's ruin her day more. I'm going to use snake eyes on her.
Okay, it can see you, so
My version of snake eyes for this character, I imagine she is inputting the image of death again and again into the person's head to keep them from moving. Essentially immobilizing them with fear.
yeah, okay.
She gets real, actual snake eyes.
Oh, you stole that from the muse, right?
That is a muse. No, I am a muse.
Oh, you're the muse. She's the Reaper has a guitar. And
Yes.
The muse is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
We're a little screwy, but we know what we're doing.
I got it.
Yep,
I got it.
the muse has death moves, and, it's all
Yeah.
right. It's all good.
All right.
Oh, you absolute
let's-
garbage.
Let's roll 2d6 plus awe.
I did.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I got 2 3s.
Hey.
Luckily,
And-
my awe is also a 3, so it
Okay.
is a 9.
So that's a 9.
Uh,
I don't think there's a way a friend can help with this unless someone can think. If either of you can think of a way that you can help, I'll let you roll aid, which would put her into the 10+ range.
So I didn't take the aura of dread, but I imagine having a second death-themed demigod in there might work kind of like a
Well,
Amplifier?
the goal would be to get this person to look at Val.
Uh-huh.
And if Val can get a good enough like eye lock, then she'll be able to move around while this thing has to stare at her. Otherwise, Val has to maintain eye contact as well.
So if we just say, "Oh, hey, Val," will the thing look?
I don't know if that's enough.
Do either of you probably Trickster more, do you have a gift that is like something that would help move people's attention or like that sort of thing, or is all your gifts more like attacky?
I can summon a hippo.
No, I actually have like nothing that's attacky.
Oh,
What can I? Oh,
Can I
Probably
use the
right
iPad?
now.
Can I use it?
if not, that's fine. I do not mind maintaining that eye lock with them, and I think that's a really fun narrative thing of her just staring this girl in the eyes and like
Yeah,
giving a literal death glare and being like, cut her loose,
yeah.
do it quickly.
Oh,
I don't
you're the
have
same
all
from
day.
Jumanji too.
So
Okay.
we are deathlocked together.
Okay, yeah. So, and just so what everyone knows, because you know Val well enough to know how this works, it's not the first time you've seen her use this. Val has to maintain eye contact, and the target can't move or look away unless someone touches them.
Are we counting the black mass on her as touching them?
Yeah.
Dang. All right, figure out what you're doing. Essentially gave you 2 time to think, as well as me.
Mm-hmm.
If we knocked the person out, do you think the fabric would go down too?
No, it would probably spread.
I guess I can go and try to cut the thing off of her.
I mean, but as soon as we
Yeah.
touch this thing, the eye contact is basically useless. So we would have to be able to like rapidly cut this thing loose.
Yeah, because it's over her entire body at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, I mean, it's either that or like
Bernie, was there...
get over her and tie her up.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Scott?
I was gonna say if we don't try to cut her free, then maybe we just throw like a blanket over her and tie her up.
But I don't know if the symbiote thing will just absorb the blanket.
Now, just as a suggestion, I don't know if any of you are sort of versed in spell casting stuff, but like you could try a bend fate to do like a dispel sort of thing. You don't have an arcane on the team, but if any of you think you would have an ability similar to that, I'm open to that. That's an idea as well.
Can I use the iPad of the dead to look at how to unmummify someone?
Or look up how to kill this symbiote thing as well.
I like the idea of it being, oh, this is like a mummy. I can kind of do this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is kind of like a mummy. I hadn't really thought of that. Let's roll weird. See what happens.
Get weird.
Get weird.
Make it weird.
So that is a +7. Or I'm sorry, not +7, a 7
Whoa.
total.
Okay, 7 total. So we're pushing a gift beyond its normal limits. What kind of bane would you want?
I'm gonna go and say that like the battery probably wears down, so I probably have to charge my iPad for a little bit.
Oh, okay, so that's gonna go dead for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, as the battery light is flashing on there, and you're like, iPad, look at this. What do I do with this?
Siri, help me.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not Siri, it's Cirrus.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
So it you get a little message that says, "It looks like you're trying to destroy a mummy. Can I offer some suggestions?"
Yes, you can. Thank you, Clippy. It's the one time somebody wants Clippy.
Yeah, finally. Yes, you're good at something.
My moment has come.
Yeah. So there are a number of suggestions of like bury it underground, burn it with acid or fire. And you're like, okay, well, there's an innocent person under here, so I can't do those. Another option would be to trap it in a like pentagram sort of thing,
Okay.
which is not just like a Christian, or a like black magic symbol.
Like
It's sort
not a summoning circle, but like an actual, like an angel trap from Supernatural.
yes, that type of thing turns out to be a fairly universal supernatural trick. So
Are there markers nearby?
yeah, he's got all kinds of. He's got like chalk and markers and pens and pencils and all kinds of stuff on his workstation.
I want to do this in markers so that it doesn't accidentally get tripped. Eklund, grab the pens. We got to do a binding circle, and then she's gonna start rattling off a bunch of information that I assume this isn't the first time we've had to do stuff like this.
Probably not. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Grab a marker. Open that up.
Well, yeah, sure. Take your time. No, it's fine.
he's the fastest tagger. That's why he's doing it.
All you have to do is stand there and look.
Pretty.
I'm gonna have you both roll metal, and these aren't aid rolls because you're both trying to do this at the same time, and hopefully neither of you rolls a miss.
Are you saying me and Scott or?
Yeah, you and Scott. Yeah, because Val has
Eye
the
contact.
the eye contact under control.
Mm,
Uh-oh.
Well,
that's a
I got.
4.
Oh, okay, never mind. I got an 11, but I guess you got a 4.
Oh,
Sorry,
man.
friends. That -1. It hurt.
Okay. So Eklund, you are just going to town on these symbols. You remember that time that you helped
Hold
exercise
on a
it?
second.
Oh,
I would like to roll aid.
Can you give a what's your total at?
I've got a 4.
Oh, you have 4. I thought you said 5. I apologize.
No,
Because
4.
I can give +2 to people, so I was like, wait, I can actually do this. But,
Yeah.
okay. Apologies. Carry on.
Tell you what, Val, I will let you make that roll if you agree to. If you're, I mean, you would have to drop the snake eyes anyway. I will let you if you get the 10 plus. I'll give you the enough for her to make it a 7, and this thing will be trapped. As you drop the snake eyes, like, okay, cool, it's trapped. It doesn't need snake eyes anymore. But if you don't get the 10 plus, this thing is gonna break out of snake eyes and not be trapped in the symbol.
Oh,
Am I the closest person to it?
No, because they're on the floor, kind of trying to draw on the floor around it, and also not break your eye contact with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do the
All
thing.
right.
Okay.
So
Don't
yeah,
forget, you can after you roll, you can spend a thread to add a better die if you want, or to add a third die.
Dang
That's
it,
after,
I forgot
correct?
I can do that. Ah. Well,
You'll remember for next time.
I got 10.
You got a 10. Okay.
I got a 4, a 3, and I get +3 to it. So I also have motivational speaker, which means not only do they get the +2 and the +1 from Jason being nice and me putting myself in danger, the team in danger, but they also get 2 threads.
ooh.
Yep.
So
Bernie gets 2 threads.
Ian, where are my threads? Where's my pencil? There it is.
can we count that as urging someone to greatness? Because
yeah.
I break it as she's about to do something wrong, and I'm just like, nope, triangle the other way.
No, turn it the other way. And then you break snake eyes, and this thing is like, and kind of leaps at you just as Bernie finishes the symbol on the ground, and it just goes bring, and it's essentially in this like column of force, trapped in the workroom here, and you have a moment to catch your breath. What do you all want to do?
Well, I have 5 threads now.
Oh, hey, you know what? Actually, that's a good idea, and I could use like a 5-minute bio break if that's all right with everyone.
Okay.
So, Bailey, you'll have a chance to look at the advances and see if anything looks like fun, and then is that all right? Just a quick.
Yeah, we will be back in about 5. I'm going to put the stream on mute and put up a little slide, and we'll be back shortly.
Thanks, everybody.
Woot woot.
And we're back. So, where did we leave off, Jason?
We left off with our heroes successfully trapping the fabric monster, which has to wrap itself around a person to be very effective, but it did that when an intern came by to check in on Mr. Simon. And this person is now sort of being piloted against their will to attack the three of you. But it is trapped inside of a
Binding circle.
binding circle. Yes, thank you. That's the word. So, what would you like to do?
Bernie, I believe you had an idea.
So I was going to say, I filled my thread track. And when you do that, one of the things you can do is take an advancement. I pay all 5 of my lovely threads for this. And one of the things you can do is pick a new gift. And one of the gifts that I can get as a Reaper is called the Cloak of Obscurement, which kind of gave me the idea that maybe instead of just randomly getting a brand new shiny magic item, I could tempt our fabric friend into becoming my bright shiny new item and release the intern.
I love this. Val would like to do something before you do that, and it'll take 2 seconds. So
I'd like to see it too. I just want to see the in-character explanation of what you're doing.
I'll talk to the fabric. Don't worry.
Sure. Let's jump to Val first.
Val's is simple. She would like to take out her phone, take a picture of this man in the thing, and
there's a woman.
Woman. Oh goodness.
Yep.
You did say that with the thing, and send it to Arvin, our internet friend.
Yes.
And just it's the picture, and then it just says Celtic ?
Okay. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Because it won't be instant. It will be very quick reply, but not 100% instant.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie, what is it you want to do while Val's taking a picture there?
So we said that the edges were kind of catching on fire. I assume there's a fire extinguisher here because soldered iron.
I think they're just smoldering. Like fabric doesn't burn super good anyway, so.
I was gonna make an effort to try to like calm it down by like putting out the fire and like talking to it and being like, "Hey, do you really want to hold on to that person in there? Because if you keep holding on to her, we're gonna have to cut you up." And she gestures to stuff on the floor, and we can do it. Wouldn't it be easier to come and hang out? Don't you want to play in Fashion Week? I bet you could make all sorts of fun things.
Yeah, you see the sort of like the head bob and the shoulders moving. This thing sort of like twisting and not writhing. Like it's not in pain, but
it's doing that like cobra thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like watching you. Like, are you for real? And in the process, you realize that your summoning circle has also cut off its connection from the original actual summoning, right? Uh-huh. So you've like isolated it from its original signal.
Okay.
And you realize that you're sort of having a wordless telepathic conversation with this thing, Bernie, and that it is expressing basically like it wasn't even a thing that existed 5 minutes ago, but it doesn't want to be someone's puppet, like to hurt people. Now that it has a moment of like, oh, I'm a somewhat self-aware object, and if you promise to not make it hurt people, it's willing to conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to word that properly. So it has made itself know that it doesn't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't hurt people. We're actually here to protect someone very important. would you want to help us protect that person, even if you wouldn't have to hurt other people? You would just have to help us.
Yeah, you get the sense that that's an agreeable arrangement.
Okay, then I'm going to put my foot on the edge of the summoning circle and just like barely nick, or the binding circle, and just kind of nick it, and then I'm going to stick my arm out.
Okay.
Kind of like I'm reaching for the fabric.
Yeah. So it immediately, as you kind of like put your hand on her shoulder, I guess, the fabric like flows like water up your arm and across your shoulders and sort of drapes itself like a cape, cape and cowl. Like if you wanted to pull up a cowl, you could do that. And you realize you could actually kind of fashion it into just about any kind of I mean, it's going to be black fabric no matter what, but it's you could like turn it into a little jacket or a trench coat or a cloak and hood. And
love that idea of just, it's getting chilly. Shift, much better.
Yeah.
It's a changeling.
Steal that right out of Name of the Wind.
Oh, I read that one recently.
Yeah. He gets a cape in the second book that is adjustable, which is
nice. Cool. Awesome. Does it have a name? Does it want a name?
I think it does need some sort of like epic item name. And also for the listeners, just to know kind of behind the scenes stuff, really used her 5 threads to buy the advancement of to get a gift, an extra gift from a playbook. And she picked the Cloak of Obscurement from the Reaper playbook. And we were able to work that into the fiction, which is fun. So, yeah. So
also, if it has semi-sentience, I want it to know that it can name itself.
Yeah, I think that's, we'll have to give that some thought. Although
Alrighty.
we are I'm aware of everyone's time tonight, so I don't want to.
Ew.
I know, I'm bummed.
Name the scarf. Name the scarf.
We need more episodes.
I'm down.
We'll have to talk about that later. So, Val, you get a text message right back, and the image you get back is like there's some text, but there's a picture with it as well, and it's zoomed in on the curtain that is still there and is not missing any fabric, regardless of the like yards of fabric it took to cover this woman. The inside curtain is completely whole. It's just these symbols are continuing to form on it, and it zooms in and it's highlighted these runes, right? The text that came with the picture is yes, it's definitely Celtic, and it's a creation spell. You need to stop it before it makes something very dangerous.
Okay. I relay this information to the other two first. Actually, I push the text over to them as well and just say, info's in your phone.
Okay. And then there's a follow-up message that says this kind of magic is hard to do over long distance, and whoever's doing it is probably nearby.
Okay.
It's very, very powerful magic, and you don't kind of just lob that out from far away when you need it to be precise.
Val, where's Simon?
Oh, and Val just takes off. Just gone.
I think this intern has probably passed out. That was a very strange experience.
Are they stable though?
Yeah.
Okay.
She just like comes out of that fabric and like sees it, and mortals don't want to see this stuff, right? Like it's just too much to filter, and she's like, I think I'm just gonna pass out now.
Is there somewhere we can put her where she's not gonna get hurt or she's out of the way?
Well, yeah, actually, he's got some chairs in here. You could probably just prop her up in one of those or lay her across a couple of them.
Yep, just gonna keep that one from getting in trouble.
Sounds good.
Okay.
We should probably go get Val.
Val, roll judgment for me, please.
But what if no?
What do you have another way to do?
Oh, whole letter. Okay. How's a juicy 4 treating you?
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Please ask one of the questions from Read the Weave, but be prepared for the worst.
Got it. I am scrolling, and I have it. Okay.
And I should tell you, you have run out into the hallway. You remember Simon was going to hide out in that. He was supposed to find one of these that was safe for you two to have the nookie in.
Mm-hmm.
And so most likely he has disappeared into one of these workspaces at the end of the hallway that's not being used. So you've run out into the hallway. You don't immediately see Simon. So given that is your environment, what question would you like to ask?
So, seeing how I rolled a 4, and that's a bad,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to kind of give you a softball here.
I get a hard move anyway.
Uh-huh.
This just gets to color it in.
I would like to see the place where I think Simon is, and my question is, who owns that place?
Okay. That is relatively easy to tell. When you step out into the hallway and you're like, oh shoot, which one? Oh, and one of the workspaces is sort of like collapsing in on itself. Not like a black hole, it's just like the curtains are falling over and the rods are falling down. And this very tall person, like taller than Simon, like close to 7 feet tall, but also like rangy and thin woman, kind of steps out and has very pale skin, bright red hair, and is has as she moves, she gestures and not just black fabric, all kinds of fabric just sort of like animate around her, as sort of like a little bit of Doctor Strange's cloak, but 10 times the amount of fabric, right? And like
Not a
coming
good
off
place to fight her.
her sleeves and all this stuff. Fabric mancer.
Fashion answer.
Yeah. And behind her in a like sealed up cocoon of black fabric is a long thin form that you're like, this definitely has to be Simon. This woman kind of steps out into the hallway as all this space collapses in on itself, and she's getting ready to leave. Like the fabric is just dragging this cocoon behind her as she's walking towards the end where there's an exit. And she turns and says, "Stay out of this if you know what's good for you," and or "Stay out of this if you know what's good for you." And
That's fair enough.
she starts towards the door.
I am going. I need to keep her here long enough for my 2 demi friends to show up. So I'm gonna provoke her. I'm gonna try and keep her here.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, I would have figured someone who took all of their pantheon from ours would be a little better at stealing someone. And I'm trying to sway them into being upset at the Norse pantheon.
Uh-huh. I like that. Let's roll sway someone.
Also, I don't even think that's true, but
No.
Val doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Val is dumb.
Yeah, an uneducated person can vehemently make that argument. Absolutely
Oh.
valid.
Oh,
Good.
15?
Woo!
Well, that's too high. That's a miss.
Okay, it
It
did
goes
the
around.
it did the Gandhi in Civ 2, and it just went all the way back to 0.
Yeah.
Got that reference.
I don't get that. What's that from?
Gandhi and Civ, his peace meter went
Oh,
too high and
yeah.
went all the way down to nuke everyone.
Yes.
Civilization.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. I do remember that. That was hilarious. Yeah, by far the most aggressive player on the board. Okay, so this person is completely incensed, and they accept your reasonable argument at no cost.
I like the idea that she's upset. Like, that's not even true. Like, just like, how can you be so dumb?
Yeah, I think that's like she whips around and the cocoon kind of moves behind her, and so she's between you and Simon, and she's like sputtering with rage, like
Just
at how idiotic the yes, it's just like that's not how. That's not even close. What are you talking about? And then buried in her like Scottish brogue, on top of that is like it's getting her accent is getting stronger and stronger as gets angrier, and as you are currently alone, I'm gonna follow this up with a hard move. Where she like lashes out with a strip of fabric to do 2 harm to you. Do you have armor?
I sure do.
Okay, so that's absorbed by your armor, but it does like it's like a hard supersonic snap, like a towel snap, that both of you hear inside the workspace. As this like incredibly loud snap sound echoes in the concrete hallway.
So she's using towels to make loud noises. She's using taumaturgy. Got it.
into the trash can.
I can't even take credit for that joke, but all right. So I would like to be thrown back by this.
Okay.
Even though it doesn't hurt,
easily.
like just
There's
a
a lot of concussive. Yeah, your armor absorbs the worst of it, but yeah, you get flung back. You're a little dazed, like, oh, what? And so, just so everyone knows, she has some like grappling and concussive abilities and things like that. So, what do you two do?
I want to go run to that sound.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm alright. Like as soon as Val started running, I was just like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Okay. So Eklund, you run out and you see Val is knocked down on the floor, but like trying to get back up. She's not. She gets knocked down, but she gets up again.
You're never gonna keep her down.
So it's not like your
I
friend
quit.
is dead in the corner over there. She's just like got whapped. So what do you do?
Is Simon completely wrapped up? Like, can we not even see his face?
Yeah, there's a little black cocoon all the way at the other end of the hallway. She's about 20 feet from the exit at the end of the hallway, and the cocoon is still over there. You're just assuming that's Simon, but I mean, after today, it's pretty logical.
Yeah.
And she's between you and Matt.
Cool. I want to run right at her
Mm-hmm.
and turn into my jaybird form to try to fly to the cocoon past her.
Oh, okay. Well, changing
Zoom on my
form
tiny
isn't.
target.
Yeah, changing form isn't difficult, but she is certainly she's a lot, right? Like,
Sounds like a lot. I don't want to deal with her. I would avoid her.
so I'm gonna have you roll metal to try and zip by her without getting snagged in the fabric.
Fair. On dice. That is a 7.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna do. You zip past. You're able to successfully get by there, but there is going to be a cost. I'm going to let you choose. You get snapped. One of those like sonic booms goes off because she can't quite wrap you up. You're too fast for that. But the concussion goes off, and it knocks you out of bird form. Right? You like face plant roll as Eklund, and you're next to the cocoon. Right?
Wonderful.
And either your sort of your confidence of being a bird is shaken, and you're not going to be able to take animal form for a while, or you're going to take 2 harm that'll go past any armor that you have.
I will take the former and be not confident in my bird form for a while.
Okay, not able to bird for now, until this scene is over. But yes, you have sort of crash landed over next to Simmons' cocoon.
Okay.
And successfully split her attention, because now she's sort of trying to figure out, like, why the hell did I stay here and argue? Like, it's like an argument on the internet. Like, why did I even do this?
Trolls.
Cool. I want to, if I can, start like trying to tear Simon out.
You're gonna need a tool to do that. This fabric's real strong.
I think I still have Bernie's switchblade.
Oh, yeah, I think you do. Yeah. Okay.
Also, Bernie has a sword.
Bernie's way over there though now.
Yeah.
I think we can get Bernie over there.
Yeah, Bernie, if you want to come over here and join me, sure. But
although
now, I'm gonna stab at Simmons.
Bernie and her sword may also be kind of the best point person to do battle with this woman. So, just putting that out there. Okay, yeah. So you dig in with the knife. It's a little slow going because you're also not wanting to stab Simon, I assume.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to like pull this fabric open, and you realize the fabric is like, if you gave it time, it'll put itself back together. So you're having to like haul this open. Now, as you get it partway there, Simon is awake and is like panicked and is like trying to. As you get this open, he's like, it's like,
No, shush, don't say.
He is desperately trying to get out as well. So the fabric, you'll be able to get the fabric open. It's just going to take a minute. So the two of you are working on ripping him out of there.
Cool.
Bernie.
So Ginger Lady is looking basically between the two loud ones, yeah?
I just realized her like supervillain name would be like Ginger Snap.
I was gonna call her Ginger Spice, but
yeah,
Ginger Snap's pretty good.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
It's all right. It doesn't hurt my soul at all.
Ginger Snap might make its way into our masks game now.
A Fabrimancer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not drunk enough for this. Trying to think. So she's gonna pull her sword free and she's gonna go, "Hey, Merida!" And she's gonna get this like wicked grin. She goes, "You want to dance with Charlie Manson?" And I'm gonna charge at her with my sword. And I'm gonna try to like slash at her chest.
Okay, let's roll smite your enemies. And I'm going to give you a +1 because she's distracted from Eklund's move.
So distracted. All right. So that's post prowess, which I don't have any. So that one is. Thank you.
All right, you go.
So that's a 10.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. Thank you for the +1.
Okay, so you get to pick 3 things from Smite Your Enemies. I think you're going to want to pick Exchange Harm. So
I'm going to protect myself.
Okay. So Exchange Harm, Protect Yourself, and a third one?
So do I have to take Exchange Harm to actually harm them?
Yeah, that's why it's an option. If you don't want to do harm to her, you don't have to take that.
I'm only asking because there is one that says go for the throat, and that's a +1 harm to your enemy. Do I have to do the exchange harms in order to hit her because she has armor, or is that just to hit her, period?
Smite Your Enemies is really like engage with them. Mm-hmm. So like you could pick, gain an advantageous position, take something from them, and make an opening, and not do any harm and not take any harm. Mm-hmm. But if you want to do harm, you have to pick Exchange Harm. And then you can pick Protect Yourself or Go for the Throat if you want.
So if I get 3 and I do the Exchange the Harm and Go for the Throat, is that +2 and then I don't take any damage if I take the Protect Myself?
Well, she's actually doing more than 2 harm
I
right now.
don't have armor, y'all.
Oh, okay. So the yeah, so
Cloak is just
basically
to look pretty.
you're using your epic weapon. She's also doing epic damage at this point. So you're both going to do 4 harm to each other. If you want to pick protect yourself, you'll only take 3. And if you want to pick go for the throat, she'll take 5. So
I'm gonna do all that
okay.
Yeah. because, ouch, my feels. Y'all better get your stuff together, cause I've
This-
got 1 box left.
This is why
Okay.
I wanted you to go for the cocoon.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
What are y'all gonna do?
All right. So Bernie, do you want to
At least
describe
get
what
it-
happens, or should I fill that in?
I'm just gonna say that like she's charging at her, and I'm just gonna do like a straight downward like
Mhm.
slash at her, and then just
Yeah.
kind of like roll forward. Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine Bernie as like a full-on like whirling, blender of
Dervish.
blades. Yeah. And so yeah, you're slicing fabric left and right. But you're also like as you get closer, she's actually able to like grab and twist and throw you, and so the two of you are engaged in this like most bizarre supernatural martial battle. Yeah, you're really just beating the snot out of each other. It doesn't seem like she has armor either, so it's just Clash of the Titans here, just slugging it out.
Really
Now,
hoping that 4 did something.
just so you know, the well, you did 5 damage, right? 5 harm.
Even. Mhm.
Yeah. Now, usually bad guys have more than 7, just so that kind of balances out.
Ooh.
And
Okay, I feel better now.
so she takes a 5 harm. She's not dead, or she's not out of the fight yet. And the other 2 of you can see your friend Bernie is definitely beat up. At 6 harm, you have some like physical, real wounds. What do those look like?
I'm gonna say she's probably like snapped at least one of my arms, just snap my arm a little.
Uh-huh.
I see fabric doesn't really like do anything big. She might have like broke a bone.
Ooh,
like-
yeah, at 6
I feel
harm,
like
it
if you
could be
get hard enough. Like she maybe like broke my left arm.
okay because you're fighting right-handed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, your left radial. Sure.
Just sitting there like this, like it hurts. Do something.
Yeah, 6 harm is bad news. You're
Not gonna be able to
You're-
drink this off.
exactly. So I think everyone's kind of had a turn. I think Merida thinks she's winning. So my end of round hard move is that she focuses on sewing up Simon and retreats. She's like trying to backpedal, and yeah, but Eklund, it's good that you're there because you're like no.
Grab a HUD.
Yeah, you're trying to hold on, and you hear her say, "Fine, if you want to come too, I'll take both of you," and it starts like to include you.
Oh no.
It's gonna take,
Idiot.
but she backs up and is watching Val and Bernie as this like cocoon just sort of like by itself is trying to engulf Simon and England. Let's have Val and Bernie go before Eklund does.
Okay.
Out of character, does my hippo have a mind of its own? Like if I summon it, will it appear?
Yeah, steeds and familiars are like borderline intelligent, right? Like almost human level intelligent.
Cool, I have an idea for later.
Okay. So Val and Bernie, what would you like to do?
Would you like me to go first, Bailey?
Sure. I didn't want to like steal all the attention, but I have an idea, so you do you.
Okay. Val takes off her red coat. It's like a crimson red with the black button downs. And she was in working mode today, so she just has like a black undershirt on underneath it. She's not very fashionable underneath that coat, which is why she's kept it on all day.
Yeah.
And she starts whipping it around. and in a, you can't really tell if it's Scottish or Irish accent, because again, she speaks with a deep Scandinavian or Swedish accent. She just goes, "Oh, look at me! I'm a fabric mancer. Why don't you come down here and fight me woman to woman?" And she's challenging her to a one-on-one fight.
A duel.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Is this a specific move, or you just want to roll sway someone?
I would like to just roll sway someone.
I'm down. Let's roll that and see what happens.
You're Toroing.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 9 plus 3 is 12.
Oh my. Yeah.
I'm very good at provoking people. That is all I can do.
Okay. So she she looks incensed. But she's also not, like, she basically has written off Eklund as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not worried about him. But she, like, some of the whirling fabric calms down a little bit, and she looks at Bernie like, "Do you agree to the term? Do you agree to the terms? Will you stand back and let her
Are
fight
you
for your
offering me a deal?
I'll fight her, and the winner takes that."
Can I use best of sevens to make sure that Val wins?
You can use best of 7 to make sure they both stick to the agreement.
Which is perfectly fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
It just means neither of them can get help from outside if you want to sort of adjudicate a duel.
I got this.
So to clarify, because I have a loophole in my head, I can help Eklund get him out of the cocoon. I can't help Val fight.
It does seem like she left that out of her promise. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. I would like to add an additional thing to that. Mm-hmm. When I said fight woman to woman, I put up my dukes, like actual fight.
Oh,
like no magic.
Fist fight. Yeah.
Yeah, like let's do this like gentlemen, except we're both ladies. So let's do this like ladies.
So like these.
Okay. Yeah, that sway was so good. You know what? Let's add the Reaper's Judgment roll, just to sort of make it official. The best of 7 doesn't usually require a roll, but I don't know. I just want to see how this goes.
That's a 12.
Oh my. Okay. So yeah, she agrees, and she accepts the binding oath that the Reaper offers. The winner gets to take the 2 people in the cocoon.
On the iPad, she's got to sign with her finger.
Yep. And she steps up to fight, and all of this like whirling fabric just becomes like a cape, kind of like what Bernie has.
I was gonna say I've got one of those too.
Yeah. You have one of her like spawns. Yeah.
I left mine more.
Yours is nicer.
It's made of curtain.
Yeah, and more polite. So, Eklund, what's going on for you? You can hear this agreement, but you're also like in Simmons' panicked face. You're like face to face as this like cocoon's trying to eat you too.
I think I'm telling Simmons to just be quiet while I try to finish cutting us out of here, knowing that it's been going terribly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think my goal is still escape.
Okay.
Scream in my ear, that'd be great.
What trickster moves do you have again? I was just gonna see if I can make any suggestions.
I've got Outfit of the Day.
Uh-huh.
I've got Larceny. So if this is picking a lock. And I have You Mean This Gate key. Which I could use to get something useful.
Well, what would be great is if you had a Seam Ripper.
Okay.
Was gonna say you could make a Simmons like dummy and just put it in.
No.
Oh, you mean this fashion designer?
It says it's a small object.
Yeah, it's like a little
small object.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if you, Scott, are familiar with seam rippers.
Very familiar with the seam ripper.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
great. Then that would be a safe way to work a little bit. But like the reason it's been so slow is you're trying not to stab yourself or Simon with this little knife. But in this case, if you got like an industrial seam ripper, you could, just tear right through that and not endanger your friend.
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay.
Pull one of those out of my sleeves. Whoop.
Hey, look at that thing.
I didn't think I was
from,
gonna
but
need
it's here.
Do you have the puzzle box gift, or you just?
I do not. No.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not 100% correct.
Yeah. So what's wrong with it?
Well, it's either going to be cheap and break pretty good, or it's missing a handle.
Oh, yeah. So you just have like the metal to hold on
Just
to.
the metal part, and
I like that. That's a
it's
good
like
one.
very carefully.
Yeah. So it's faster than the knife, but it's kind of fiddly to like it's slipping in your sweaty fingers, and yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
Okay. So given that, at the end of this kind of set of turns, you and Simon will be free if if she doesn't get the opportunity to wrap you up again. Let's go to Val.
I would like to use my ascendance.
Oh my.
So
You want to read it for us so we know how that works?
you light up the crowd, quite literally. You become a shining beacon of inspiration, driving anyone who could see you to lean into the best versions of themselves. The people are moved to greatness. Describe what you accomplish working together. So, first, somehow all of the lights in this room all start pointing to the combat that's about to take place.
Yep. Yeah, you get some spotlighting and colored swooping spots.
Which also creates shadows for my partners to go and do what they need to do without being seen.
Yep, it absolutely does.
And I start to fist fight the 7-foot demigoddess.
Yep. Probably.
And
yeah.
she's 7 feet tall. I'm going to imagine she has a prowess greater than -1. So she would wipe the floor with me, but it's not. She's very arrogant. I kind of picked up on that. And every time she hits me, it's one of those big haymakers that sends me flying, and I keep getting up. And then she hits another haymaker, and I get up again.
Oh my god, it's Rocky.
And another one, and she's just getting infuriated and infuriated. And then Simon is cut free.
Uh-huh.
And she just snaps her head around, upset that both Eklund and Bernie were able to cut Simon free using my inspiration of continuing to get up and up. And in that moment of her distraction, Val finally gets her hits in. And hits and hits and hits and hits.
Yeah.
And very much like Rocky, just takes her out with that. And per the terms of the contract, that means that she has to release.
Yeah. Yeah. She you knock her pretty silly, and when as she's like laid out on the floor, and I imagine Val's pretty bloody at this point.
In fact, the permanent consequence is going to be reducing my max harm to 6 because of how badly she was beat in this
really
fight.
got the shit beat out of
Oh
you.
yeah, no, it was again and again and again to give the time for this person with a seam ripper and a sword to get through this fabric.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, the two of you rip Simon out of there. Val beats this woman down, and in a basically fair fight, abides by the terms of the agreement, and this woman eventually like drags herself to her feet and like doesn't really say anything. She just like heads through the door if you all let her leave. it wouldn't be difficult to kill her if you wanted to. I don't know what your team is like.
Val would let her go, but Val's in no position to stop her teammates with the beatdown that she just took.
I have a broken arm.
Oh,
I'm
that's
dead.
true. Yeah, you're pretty busted up.
Oh, this team's pretty busted up, except for who's just afraid to be a bird.
What'd you say, Scott?
So I don't want to kill anybody if I don't have to. So
Yeah.
if they're leaving, they can leave.
Okay.
I can heal us. Y'all just gotta trade some stuff.
I think that's good kind of epilogue stuff. I know we're long on time here, so let's do a brief wrap up. I will say for Simon, he is able to crunch through the last of his preparation and create 8 of these amazing like harness arrays that the models walk down the runway, and it's creating this amazing freestanding hologram. Essentially an illusion, but it makes them look like they're in these 12-foot.
So they're not really wearing clothes. They're wearing CGI clothes.
They're wearing like a framework that is projecting and reflecting light around them. So yeah, they're kind of like a live CGI character.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's also clear as you watch him work, you realize, oh, he's got a little bit of supernatural in him to be able to accomplish this. Like, it's not enough where he realizes what's going on, but this is probably why media is interested in him. Yeah, his show goes off. It's a big hit. And also because you can see internet is like stuffing negative comments down and boosting all the positive ones, and then that just sort of generates itself. Yeah, when you are the internet, you can just make that happen. So he has a big successful show, and I'm not going to say whether he makes it with internet or not. That for off screen. We do see them going off to have a conversation together. Mm-hmm. How is Eklund's wrap up for this event?
Well, Eklund's not feeling too hurt, so I think.
Oh, and the show is like 2 days later, right? The show's on Monday,
okay.
So this is a proper epilogue.
Okay. I think after the show, like wherever we're all meeting together, I just keep using outfit of the day to change into the different clothes that the models were wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which one looks best on me? Do you think this one or this one?
Are you staying Eklund when you're doing it?
Yes, for the most
Eklund
part.
can wear
So it's
dress.
Eklund, but like, the mental image is cute to me as
He
well.
can wear a fancy dress.
I'm not saying he can't.
I'll be like, oh, maybe Bernie, maybe you want to wear this one, and I'll like turn into Bernie wearing one of these outfits, and I'll turn into Val wearing one of these outfits. Who wore?
Yeah, look how this looks on me. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't make an outfit and give it away to someone.
No. I'm just showcasing and just like having a good time and figuring out what I feel comfortable in.
Okay, cool. So Eklund's got a little bug for fashion now.
We helped save the guy.
I like it.
See if any of that suits me well. And if not, then hey, next week who knows what's gonna happen.
Okay. How about Bernie?
Probably.
What about Bernie?
Yeah. I'm gonna probably say that like my nice little cloak friend has decided to make a sling every time that I like have my arm. Like my arm's in a cast, but my cloak is kind of like affectionate, so it's like nope, pretty little sling.
Yeah, let's hold that up.
Just a little,
Yeah. It's probably offended that you would get a cast. Like, no, I'll hold it.
I'm trying to explain to it how casts works.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that just like after the fashion show, they just all go back to Bernie's apartment to like get drunk or whatever.
Oh yeah, cool.
Just get tipsy, because that's how I heal.
That's maybe where Simon and Internet have their conversation, and they sort of go out to the balcony to talk.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of enjoying the music and everything, and laughing, and just y'all are idiots.
Okay.
Trying desperately to heal.
And what's Val's closeout look like?
Val's closeout is going to be quick, but I do have a quick permission question. I'd like to also include my god in this as well. My parent.
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
can be involved. They shouldn't show up on Earth for very long.
They won't.
but-
No, they won't
Yeah.
show up at all. So,
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
can we agree as a group that what Val did was epic, and I would
Yeah.
get my
Yes.
last thread, so I
Yes,
can take an
by all
investment.
means.
Using
Okay.
your ascendants, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Pretty epic.
we
yeah, I
all.
mean that's actually in the rule book that isn't published yet.
Okay.
Is using your ascendance move 100% is epic. So basically, you get a thread for doing that.
Nice. So, Eklund's going through the outfits and doing that. And then, as Eklund's doing it, Val starts doing it as well. Because she's taken Outfit of the Day from the Trickster playbook. And she's just like after a second of doing it, she just goes, you know, I can kind of see why you do this. And there's like genuine understanding and happiness coming from her.
Oh, okay.
And it would pull away at that point to a scene of hell
Uh huh.
in
Your parent, right?
yes,
Yes.
Yeah, the-
hell
Hell.
in hell.
HEL. Yeah.
And she, I'm pretty sure, is kind of looking at a pool of water and just kind of goes, interesting. And that's it.
I love it. Yeah. Well,
Side note, can we say why you guys are doing the outfits? The cloak is doing black versions of everything.
oh yeah, it's like, well, I could do that. I could
Yeah.
do that. Look at me.
Like,
Oh,
I can
that's-
do this too.
That's like an
My daughter-
adorably perfect, like, closeout, I think.
Yeah, that's fun.
My cloak is just the magic carpet from Aladdin.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, thank you everyone for playing Demigods with me.
Oh, no
Thank
problem.
you.
It's so much fun. I can't even imagine not doing it. So, I guess this is the part of the stream where I take over again, being the person who does things. So, once again, we were raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on National Alliance on Mental Illness. And you can go to rollforchange.org/donate to donate money. We should be moving over to a new charity starting in January, but I don't want to hold myself to anything that we haven't decided yet. So, stay tuned on Twitter at Roll for Change. And speaking of Twitters, let's all go around and say where we can be found. Alphabetical order. Going backwards. Scott.
No! Hey everybody, my name is Scott. You can find me personally on Twitter at the Scott Blake, or you can also find my Dungeons and Dragons podcast on Twitter at Skyrend Podcast. That's Seasons of Skyrend, our 5th edition D&D game, releasing on Thursdays. Come and join us. We're about halfway through our second book.
Awesome.
It's real good.
Cool.
Next would be me. You can find me at 2KNick, TWOKNIKK on Twitter. And also, I do wrestling simulation game stuff. So if that is something that you may possibly be interested in, don't know how much intersection there is between this and that, but you could go to Let's Play TEW on Twitter and find out information there. Next would be Jason.
Cool. Yep. You can find me on Twitter at It's Probably Okay. Just the letters okay, not spelled out. And you can also find Demigods on the website demigodspbta.com. So that's powered by the apocalypse. So PBTA. There is a new game kickstarted recently, and it's just called Demigod, not plural. So that's not us. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the game is great, but it's not my game. So that's a different one. Maybe support them too. I don't know if the game is what it is, but it came up recently. So I'm hoping to kickstart my game in the spring. fingers crossed that I don't want to kickstart and not be done with the rule book, right? Because that's where Kickstarters go, and then like 8 months later, you're like, am I going to get this thing? Like, so anyway, that's the goal, is to finish the writing in the next couple months and then kickstart it to do the printing.
And last but not least, this time is Bailey.
Hi, I'm Bailey. You can find me on Twitter at Ironic Adventures. You can also find me on CAF Witch. That is a separate Twitter that is going to be for my mysterious project that I hopefully am going to be starting in January. Fingers crossed. You can also find me once a month on the SHU Patreon podcast Generation Justice, and every other weekend, as long as Nick still lets me do it, on Roll for Change. Mostly
And
playing shitty teams.
we do not know what we will be doing in 2 weeks, but if you stay tuned to the Twitter, there will be something. Something will happen. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you
Bye, friends.
again, and have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, friends.